Good morning. It's Friday, so it's time for another Lesson 5 devotional, and it has been a busy, crazy week, stressful week. Lots going on with my dad and other issues that have come up, and so it's just been stressful and crazy and just lots happening. And so this morning, I think I want to talk to you about the storms of life. The thought of the day is how Jesus helps us through the storms of life. And recently, we were at my niece's birthday party last week, and they rented out a swimming pool, and we were all there swimming, the family and friends, and going down the slides and having a good time. But then my daughter and my son wanted to go jump off the diving board, and neither of them had jumped off the diving board before. And so I'm out in the middle of the deep end, treading water, trying to encourage them to jump off the diving board and trying to build their confidence that I'm there for them, that I'm not going to let them drown, and neither is the lifeguard that's sitting up above me watching me tread water. And I got my arm reached out for them and told them I'll catch them. And even though they had their life jackets on, they still needed someone there reaching out a hand to give them that encouragement and that confidence to jump. And so I'm reminded of Peter and Jesus in Matthew chapter 14 when Jesus is talking to the disciples and he's saying, "Have courage, it is I, do not be afraid." And Peter said to him, "Lord, if it is you, order me to come to you on the water." In verse 29. So he said, "Come." Jesus told Peter, he said, "Come." And Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind, he became afraid and started to sink, and he cried out, "Lord, save me." In verse 31, immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him, saying, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And so I'm thinking about this story, and I'm thinking about me and my daughter and my son in that situation, how they needed encouragement and they needed confidence. But when they got over the edge and they saw how far down it was, or they got a little bit scared. And so I'm thinking about this story, and I'm thinking about what's going on in my life and the storms and stuff. And there may be times when we're not able to sense where God is going with something, and we may get a little scared, especially when the storms come in and we take our eyes off Jesus. We begin to sink and we get scared. But I'm encouraged by this story because of one thing. The disciples, Peter especially, they struggled with their faith. And it encourages me that right now in these storms of life that we're facing, that there's times when my faith isn't as strong as I think it should be, and I think, what's wrong with me? Why do I not have more faith? What's going on? And I'm reminded in this story how the disciples lacked faith, but yet Jesus still reached out to save Jesus. Jesus still reached out to save Peter when Peter cried out to him, when Peter called his name. And you know, there may be many storms in our life, and we may struggle with our faith, but when we place our trust and confidence in the Lord, he'll save us. He'll help us. When I reach out to God, when we reach out to the Lord, and we cry out to him, peace will come. And it's often like in this passage here, before the storm even subsides. Jesus reached out and saved Peter, and peace came to him long before the storm was even over. And so, like Peter, we can reach out to the Lord for help. We may have to wait for an answer. We may have to wait to see God's hand move. It may not be as immediate as it is here in this passage, but I would argue with you that it is immediately that he reaches out to us. But we have to place our hope and our confidence and our trust in Jesus. And when we reach out to him, he will pull us up. He will pull us out of the storm. He will save us from the storm. He will help us. And so let this build your hope and your encouragement this morning. And that's my prayer, that as we reach out to the Lord in these times of storms and struggles and stresses, that he will bring us peace and he will build hope in us, that everything is going to work out according to his will and his sovereignty. And so let this be a blessing to you today, that Jesus will help you through the storm of life. Just reach out to him, call out to him, and let the peace of God surpass all understanding and bring you hope. I love you. God bless you. I'll see you next Friday.